Every 4 years, we go to the polls to vote. We elect political leaders who make a lot of promises to improve our lives and chart a better course for our economy. We entrust them with our power and authority to lead the country and impact positively on lives. However, what has been the result? Many failed and unfulfilled promises. We see political office holders peddle their own interest to the detriment of the ordinary people. As citizens, how can we effectively watch out for our interests from those who we put in power? We ought to be, or what ought to be done to ensure that we receive the development we deserve. To discuss this and more, I have with me Kwame Asare Obeng, aka Kwame A+, a hip life artist and a political activist and a social commentator. You are watching The Hard Truth. My name is Nana Akosua Konadu Asante-Samuels. Welcome, Kwame.
Thank you.
How are you?
Good.
How is your dad?
It's fine.
Fantastic. It's good to have you on The Hard Truth.
It's a privilege to be here.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I have watched the show a couple of times. I think that you're doing a great job. And anybody who cares about this country and wants to have a say, this is the right platform.
I see.
Yeah.
Then we are glad you're here. Now, moving to it, on the international landscape, Ghana is seen as one of the, shining stars in West Africa and Africa. Yet, when you look at the resources we have as a country, are we getting the development we deserve, in your opinion?
Yeah, in the town of the blind, the one-eyed man will always be the king. So, looking at West Africa and what this sub-region is like, it's economically, the life of the average people, Ghana will be seen as the shining star, but it is nothing to write home about.
We say that a lot, the life of the average people. Let's paint a picture. How should the life of the average Ghanaian look like?
The life of the average Ghanaian should be access to healthcare, access to potable water, to quality education. Mosquitoes must not kill people in 2022. It doesn't make sense that children are still dying of malaria.
So when these things happen, mosquitoes are killing us, we don't have access to healthcare, quality healthcare. So can we say that our leaders have failed us?
It is not about whether we can say or not, that is the fact. Kwame Nkrumah said that the black man is capable of managing his own affairs. Unfortunately, I don't think this is the crop of black people that he was talking about. We have failed woefully. This is a continent that has everything. We have sun, we have sunlight, we have rainy seasons, we have fresh water, and still children go to bed hungry, and children are still dying of the diseases that killed children when I was 5
years ago. Right?
Yes. So when I was a child, I'm 45 today. If children were dying of measles and malaria and cholera 40 years ago, and 40 years on, where I grew up, children are going through same. I've schooled under a tree before. If children are still schooling under trees, if
they're not moving forward.
Yes, you don't even have to assume that we have failed, but I think there should be a better word. It's a sad situation.
But some would also say that what our leaders fail to do is a reflection of what we citizens fail to do. Since we gave them power, we ensure that they do the right thing. But to what extent, again, are citizens responsible for the inadequacies and failures of our leaders or government?
Yeah, I don't think that any citizen in any country is born to do the right thing. That's why we have leaders. We put leaders in position to enforce laws, to lead by example. So if you go to New York today and turn off all the speed cameras, you will know the real character of human beings. They will speed. Everybody will be speeding. So the system is a dictator. They've put in place a system that checks that behavior. And because of that, it is not because the people of New York are patriotic or they're good. Every human being wants to misbehave.
Because there is a law.
Yes.
There is a
but
law.
The system is the dictator, not the people, not the people in power. So you build systems. Unfortunately, here, when you say fix the country, they say go and fix yourself. No human being will fix themselves. God put Adam and Eve in a garden and said, I've given you the right to choose. And they chose to eat the apple. So it didn't start today. The people always choose what you don't expect them to.
So we choose them because we believe A plus can do X, Y, Z for me. So the moment I'm not checking you to do the right thing, but what does that say about that?
Yes. And you see, the problem that we're facing is that our leaders have decided not to think.
How so?
Yes, they think about unnecessary things.
Like what?
They think about, for instance, we have a president who wants to build a cathedral, and he thinks that is what he must do. And so he goes all the way to Israel to buy a stone and believes that there is something in that stone that he can bring to Accra and build a cathedral. And I just don't get it.
Isn't it more than that? I mean, of course, I'm not talking about the cathedral, but the cathedral is, it's more than the church. That's what they say. It's more than, just going there to worship. It's going to
everything that they're saying about the cathedral is an afterthought. Initially, they knew what they wanted. They told us what they were going to build. And then when the backlash started, and then they decided shifting the goalposts and adding on. So that is just an example. Our leaders have decided not to think. And that is a big problem. Why do we live in Ghana and import vegetables from Burkina Faso, a country where the worst part in terms of soil fertility in Ghana is better than any soil that you find in Burkina Faso? Why do we import vegetables from there? It is because our leaders have failed to think. If I am president of Ghana, I will make sure that I invest in agriculture. How do you do that? Why don't we have state farms? What happened to the state farms? You have Commander Sugar Factory. You are giving your sugar cane to outgrowers to grow sugar cane for you. What if they don't? You should have your own farm and then buy some more from
Don't
the
we all
outgrowers.
suggest that we do this and let's do this, buy that and that? But we live in a country where members of parliament or political parties, in part even defend the government, even if they know what they are defending is wrong. Now, how do we balance loyalty of the power, to holding government accountable?
It's very difficult. I visited President Kufuor one time and he said something very interesting. He said, Kwame, you have to continue like this. Defend democracy. Defend democracy. All of you should keep defending democracy. One day, one guy will rise up and start thinking and change everything. It is a better form of governance than anyone that we know. So defend democracy. And it's true. You don't have people who are defending their country. People are defending their parties. For instance, I was with Dr. Anya at Kolebu as his PA. And I didn't know that politically it's okay for people to die. Like you can die. If people are dying and you speak about it and it will affect the party, you don't have to speak about it. And these are things that this is something that
why? Why?
That is what party politics has done to us. It's a very serious situation. Until you get in there, you will not understand it. It is okay for somebody to make money. Let somebody supply the oxygen. People can die. You don't have to repair the oxygen plant so long as one party member is the one that is supplying and is making a lot of money. That is how politicians
How
think.
are we then accountable to our leaders? These things are happening. We say them a lot. To our citizens, what's accountability measures? How do we account for them?
I don't know. All I know is that in my own small way, I can always demand accountability from the leaders as much as I can. However, this system is a messed up system. I've been in there. I've seen it. Not long ago, I had a group of young guys who came to me and said that let's start agitating and call for the dismissal of Dr. Dampari. And I asked them a simple question: who will appoint the next IGP? If Akufo-Addo sacks Dr. Dampari, Akufo-Addo will bring another IGP. who will also be loyal to Akosua instead of being loyal to Ghana. At least Dampare has shown that he can be a man of his own. At least he's doing well. So let's leave him. The system will come for you if you try to do it.
Kwame, is it possible to fight for the development we deserve as citizens?
It depends on who is in power. It depends. It depends on who is in power. And it depends on who sponsored who is in power.
That's crazy.
Yes, it depends on who is in power.
But
I keep saying this. I've said this over and over. If you ever see my photo on a ballot paper, please don't vote for me.
If you want to be president, what are you saying?
No, don't. It's like if the electoral commission could put caution or some disclaimer or something there, because you see, I'm weird.
How weird.
Yeah, that's how Ghanaians see it. They don't like people who are straightforward. They don't like people who are strong. Everybody wants everybody to be lenient. Akufo-Addo began with, "I'm the best man for Ghana. I believe in Ghana," and then
what happened to our president? I mean,
he wanted to be president, and he realized that you have to be like Atamils. Made them a pass on you. So he also chose Asante Biamati Oye. The battle is the Lord's,
right?
Because the people themselves will slow you down before they give you power. The people will slow you down. They will make sure that you are the kind of person they can manipulate before they give you power.
So
if I ever become president, if you vote for me, it's going to be a serious problem. Because look, there's so many people who have built houses very close to the motorway. The motorway, if you start from Jowuru and you just keep driving, it will take you around Africa. It will take you all the way to wherever, to Morocco. It will take you around and bring you back to Fiesta Royale. And this is a highway that goes up.
I don't know
Africa.
about that. I'm just you saying. And I see that's a piece of information.
Just take the African map and look at the N1 takes you. If you drive on the N1, you can go around Africa and come back to Fiesta Royale. Now, people are building on land that is motorway extension, and nobody can say anything because if you touch them, we will lose the next election. If I am president of Ghana at my inauguration, I'll make it very clear that I'm here for just 4 years. Next 4 years, I'm not even running. So don't come and tell me that I'm not coming myself. You see, until this country...
Until you come, you're not president yet.
Yes.
Let's talk about Akosua-Addo.
Yes.
Did he lie to us with his demeanor, the Asampapa demeanor, or your Christoni? Did he give us that, holier than thou attitude or
I think that Akosua-Addo, I won't say he lied. I would say that it got to a point where the end had to justify the means.
That's just what?
Let's just get there. Let's say what we have to say.
Did he have a plan? Did he have a plan to better the lives
I think
of
he
Ghanaians?
did. But you see, Akosua-Addo, the reason why some of us supported him, that Akosua-Addo is a very nice guy. Akosua-Addo is not a strong leader.
How so? Strong how? Tactically or what?
Akosua-Addo is a guy, man. You see, Akosua-Addo is everybody's friend. Akosua-Addo does not
the
like
face of the party.
He does not like, not even the party. Look, do you know why it is very difficult to demonstrate for TUC to go on all their strikes? And Akosua-Addo has a friend everywhere. You see, Nana is everybody's friend. And Nana doesn't like to make people feel bad. So it's very difficult for him. For instance, I have an issue with Asensu and Abuja Napo. The president calls me early morning, come to my house, I go. And the president doesn't know how to handle the issue because he doesn't want to offend me, he doesn't want to offend them. So it's okay to go to CID. All of you. You see, that is not the kind of leader we want. In this country, no nice person can ever run this country.
So Akosua-Addo is not the right person to lead a party
when
or
he started
the
in
country.
2008, he was the right person.
What changed?
He wanted to be, he
changed?
lost. And if you lose an election like that, it will change a lot about you. You will have people who invested in the campaign and they're going to tell you how to conduct yourself to be able to win the next one. You have people. So a lot would change about you.
Is he not the one or the brains behind all these things we see over here? I mean, is he not the president who dictates? Do you think, let me put it right, do you think he has people who dictate for him what to do?
Yes. And you are aware, Akufo-Addo, when the Jaco issue happened, they issued a statement that he was misled. By who? By the same people we are talking about.
So he's not on top of issues?
No, not at all. No.
As citizens, we need to be able to criticize a government without fear. Yet, we've been concerned of free speech under this government, Akufo-Addo's government. Is that the best approach from?
No, that is not the best. I think that it is a very unfortunate situation. Akufo-Addo is a human rights person. We grew up wanting to be like Akufo-Addo. Akufo-Addo is an outspoken person. When Akufo-Addo even was in exile, he was the one that was writing all the articles, and he had a newspaper, The Statesman. Akufo-Addo is like a vocal person. We when we were growing up,
but we see him as a hostile person to criticisms.
Yes, that's why I'm saying that. Unfortunately, he became president, and all that he and his people know is attack. Once you say something that I don't like, it has to be attack. But when we wanted Akufo-Addo to be president, when we were campaigning for him, we were saying everything about John Mahama. We said everything about John Mahama. In fact, John Mahama, there was a time when somebody, they put John Mahama's head on a naked body with some Photoshop, put his head on somebody's naked body, and just to depict a naked John Mahama, like butt naked. And I don't think you can do that today.
Is it people say that, or we hear that, it's not him, but the people around him, those giving him bad advice? Is it him, a person, being hostile to criticisms, or the people around him?
That has always been the excuse of people who have misbehaved or who are failed in a certain way. So God asked Adam, what happened? He says, the woman you brought. So Adam told God, it's the people around.
There's a blame game, this person, that person.
It has always been like that.
I have an issue. We saw Reverend Marty, Emmanuel Marty, for example, used to consistently attack the former president. But, now he's no more doing that. And he says he's now, sticking to texting only. When it comes to the issues of free speech, where do you stand on this? For someone like Reverend Marty to say that, now I'm quiet, I just want to text.
I think that people's motivation is always different. They are motivated by different things to criticize or to attack. So there are so many people who only criticize John Mahama because they wanted Akufo-Addo to be in power, and they don't care what Akufo-Addo does. That's one of the problems that we have in this country. We can't.
Do we pay people to attack people? Do you think, in opinion, do you think Reverend Marty was paid to attack
I don't know about payment.
So why is he texting? Why is he not vocal? Why is he giving us the excuse that he's just texting?
Yeah, I think he's a hypocrite. He's a hypocrite. That's the only word. This is where you get people saying, oh, you have insulted people. No. If you are being a hypocrite, you are being a hypocrite. And I think that Reverend Marty is a hypocrite, a big one. You have people who criticize John Mahama for going to IMF, and the same people turn around and they defend Akufo-Addo and say that, oh, this IMF is different from the IMF. Such nonsense. And they make it look as if everybody in this country is dumb. So the only thing I can say about Reverend Marty is that he's a hypocrite, and it's not just him. I campaigned for Akufo-Addo to come to power, but I also cannot sit down and watch or defend Akufo-Addo do the same.
In 2020, you came back and you apologized to President Mahama on his birthday, and you said you were sorry. You campaigned against him.
Yeah, because I think when it comes to free speech, I think he's tolerant. When we were campaigning for Akufo-Addo, we had national security protecting us, ensuring that we were safe. And then when we criticize our own government, they come after us. They take you to court. They attack you. a bunch of hostile, ungrateful hypocrites. I don't think that what they have done is that I can find words to describe
So
the
you
kind of
bluntly, you
people that.
regret putting the MPP government in power?
Of course, I have said that over and over.
I see.
Yes, apart from the fact that they are just a bunch of hypocrites. They have disappointed everybody. They have disappointed a lot of people. It will be difficult for them to have a flag bearer. Look, at least try, appear honest. This whole world, I keep telling people, is a scam. It's a big scam. When Michael Jackson is having a concert, you find people collapsing and the camera is there. How did they know that Mr. A is going to collapse? So let's have a camera here. It's all made up.
You're acting it out.
Yes.
I see.
But at least they make it look real.
Like in the wrestling,
In a wrestling. So you even fake it. The only person who can come out and attack his own government and say, why are we going to IMF? If you go to IMF, we have filled this candidate Japan. Whether you like him or not. It's only him. He's the only person who can attack his own party. And I think one or two of them.
I see. We're still watching The Hard Truth. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Hard Truth. Kwame Plus is my guest. Kwame, our members of parliament are, supposed to check and provide oversight of the executive on our behalf. Yet it's, I don't think they've lived up to expectation. In fact, the Speaker of Parliament, Obeng, indicated that most of the problems facing Ghanaians are as a result of a weak parliament. Are we losing it, or is it parliament or people losing trust in the parliament right now?
I think that this current parliament has shown that if you have executive from a different party and the legislature from a different party, it helps. It gives them the numbers. It gives them the strength to talk, to speak, to criticize, to oppose. Once they know that what is being tabled is not right, and I think this parliament has done. We are getting there gradually. This parliament has shown the way. It took a long time for them to be able to pass their budget. It took a long time because there were so many things that the opposition felt like it had to be taken out. When they were going to vote for the speaker, the MPP had majority in parliament by 2 or so. However, somebody who was seen as an NDC person won. So gradually, this current parliament has shown that parliament has the power. In the previous parliaments, I think that we had one party having the majority and having its way.
Yeah, so currently we have like a hung parliament with many expectations on the minority NDC to check the government. But so far, again, in your opinion, are you impressed with the performance of the NDC MPs?
It won't be 100%. There are times that I've criticized them, especially when you don't expect them to walk out so that E-levy will be passed. They didn't have to walk out. However, I think that
were they paid to walk out? I mean, here, they were paid or they were silenced or something. In your opinion, again,
yes,
do you think they were paid to stage a walkout?
To talk about this, it's not about your opinion. If you're going to talk about people who got paid, it should come with facts. So it's not even about an opinion. I can talk about. My opinion can be that they were motivated by something. But if I say paid, it means that.
Okay, so let's put it right. Were they, in your words again, so were they motivated by something to stage a walkout?
Yes, I believe so.
By what?
Maybe by their leaders deciding to be there, maybe by something that they had heard. It can be anything. Yes, anybody, people's motivation, like I started
at the detriment of Ghanaians, or of the things that we were all hooting against.
Your truth is not always everybody's truth. I, for instance, supported Eli.
That's unfair because we have people, we put you there to speak on our behalf. So.
I supported Eli. So I'm the wrong person to ask, because even if NDC supported it to pass, I don't want to be that hypocrite, like I said this and then now I want to say this. So NDC, even if they supported the passage of e-levy, I also supported it. So why am I going to criticize them? And the reason why I supported it was because I didn't want us to go to IMF, because it comes with too many conditionalities.
And now we have it. Here IMF is here. So what's your take on that?
So it's a huge disappointment. And
so do you still support e-levy?
Once we are going to IMF, why are we still taking e-levy?
So is it a bogus thing?
It doesn't make sense. Yes, because if you go to IMF and they say, okay, no more employment in public sector, no more nursing training allowance, no more free SHS. These were things that were of concern to me. And so I thought that, look, if we can generate funds internally and not go to IMF, that would have been better. Our people who claim they have the men, which we didn't know that was just Boy Scout. We thought they had the men. We realized that they had Boy Scout. They don't have no men. These guys came and told us that, no, they with e-levy, we won't go to IMF. So, and the worst thing that anybody can do, worst thing is to support
Kwame, it's e-levy
MPP's policy.
Nonsensical bill.
It doesn't make sense.
What do you make of the recent attempt, attack on Honorable Sechi Mensah Bonsubay's constituency when he visited his constituency?
It was a great. The youth did well.
By hooting and, splashing things out?
That was the part that I don't support violence in any way. I've always said that Kwame Nkrumah and his people, the founders of this country, gained independence without shooting a bullet. And so I believe that if we want roads in Swami, we can do it without throwing or attempting to lynch the MP. I do not support violence in any form.
But you applaud them for what?
For speaking up, for hooting at him. It's normal. You can hoot at him. Yeah, you can hoot at him.
Is that a signal to other MPs?
Yeah, it is a huge signal.
On the level of satisfaction among their citizens?
Yes, it's a huge signal to all of them. But if I support them, even throwing tomato or eggs at him, if you have that number of people who came out throwing an egg each, we are going to kill the man. And this is not something that I support. I don't support violence in any way. However, people should get ready to hoot at these guys. Make it difficult for them to come to the constituency. People should get ready. I have stated over and over that it is a social contract. You want my vote, I want roads. You want my vote, I want water. You want my vote, I want schools. It's simple. I want healthcare. Come and give me healthcare and take my vote. You cannot lie to the people to give you votes and decide that you have it, and so that is it. And this has gone on for so long. Akosua Konadu came and lied to the whole Ghana that he was going to build 110 hospitals. He knew he won't build it. He knew he cannot build it. And even instead of asking the whole Ghana to come together and raise money to help him build it, he rather asked them to raise money to help him build a church.
We saw Boris Johnson resign over some issues in the UK. Will we ever see an Akosua Konadu resign and saying that I have disappointed Ghanaians and I'm not sure I want to be the president? Do you see anything like that happening anytime soon?
You are comparing apples and oranges.
I'm listening.
This is
the hard truth.
This is Ghana, where leadership is understood differently from how Boris Johnson them understand leadership. Here, the leaders are the kings and the citizens are the slaves. We serve them. And I think that looking at what happened to Sechi Mensah Bonsu, maybe one day, An Akosua Konadu will resign. However, for now, you don't expect it. Akosua Konadu I hear them say the real owners of the country are in power. That's how they feel. Unfortunately, Akufo-Addo was raised in England. Akufo-Addo, he doesn't get angry when he watches an interview like this. He doesn't even have the right to be angry. He knows it. That's why I can speak freely and without insulting Akufo-Addo. Akufo-Addo understands when I say he's a liar, because his grandchildren, if he tells them that he wants to do something for them and he doesn't do it, they'll tell the grandpa, you're
lying.
Akufo-Addo is an enlightened person. So I speak freely and I tell him that Akufo-Addo knows that he's not doing the right thing.
So we should expect the president to resign anytime
He will not.
I see, but concerns have also been raised that, the executive and the president, is so powerful. In your view, do you think we should separate it? That we should take away some of the powers of the president, and which ones would you recommend?
If you have a president who is appointing the IGP and is appointing the CDS, the president is the one appointing the Chief Justice, and it's the same president who is appointing the Auditor General. So you have somebody appointing somebody to audit him and the rest, somebody to defend him and his government, that's the Attorney General, and the person who selects the judges or is in charge of the judiciary is also appointed by him. How does that work? And I think that all of these things were made just to make Rawlings comfortable. Our 1992 Constitution was made for Rawlings.
When are we going to amend it ever?
It takes a lot of people getting into Parliament. I've said this over and over. Instead of talking, instead of turning on our live videos and just agitating and whining, I think we should also spend some of that time.
To do what?
To try and get into Parliament as independent-minded people. We know now, we are all aware what one independent candidate can do in Parliament. So can you imagine if we have 5 young people, independent-minded people?
Don't we have very level-headed people who say, I want to do something for my people?
They are there on the party's ticket.
And then they get there, and then it's like, it's a different ballgame altogether. What happens when people get to power? What happens?
They are there on the party's ticket. They were financed by somebody. That's why I love what Kelvin Taylor does. He said, everybody donates. Let's do loud silence media. So it is not about one big man bringing the money and telling you who to attack and who not to attack. And even if they are doing the wrong thing, you still have to support them. So all these guys who get into power, can you imagine how many people have supported Akufo-Addo to become president? Akufo-Addo he tried to be president in 1992. That was his first attempt. Can you imagine how many people put money in that campaign?
So when he's trying to settle everyone?
He has to. That is how it is. And that is how we sponsor our political engagements, how we finance our political engagement is what this country's problem is.
You also believe that, Ghana cannot develop with a nice guy as a president, and that we need a ruthless person or a merciless person as president. Aren't you being too radical?
I don't think that we need...
what is nice?
I don't think that we need a nice person.
Who is a nice person?
If we need a nice person to be president, I think that we should make Dag Heward-Mills or Mensah Tabo president of Ghana. They are nice people. You see, you can be ruthless.
Is Mahama a nice person?
Yeah, I think maybe he has learned his lessons. He was too much of a nice person. He's not my kind of... You see...
He's not a kind of what? Completed?
He's not when he was in power, he was not that guy. He was too nice. He was always smiling with everybody, making everybody comfortable. No, you can't.
What is wrong with being nice and doing the right thing?
You cannot be a nice person in Ghana and be a president and succeed.
You mentioned New York. We have systems that way. You can be a nice guy and put the systems in place.
You can be a nice guy and put a system in place at, say, the DVLA or Kolebu, where you put a system in place so that you reduce human contact. You want to reduce how many people are stealing from the hospital. So you put systems in place. But because you're a nice person, the guys will mess the system up. The nice people who have become president and they want to grow rice.
If you're nice, I mean, I'll put you in prison or something. I mean,
Once you start putting people in prison, you are not nice. So you are saying exactly what I'm saying.
But you said before 4 years when you are campaigning, so you do the right thing. Leave 4 years. You have a legacy.
You see, there's so many governments that have tried to grow rice in Ghana. They have tried to grow rice, and they cannot. They do not succeed because the rice importers will come together and ask the guys on the field to either burn the rice or destroy the rice. They have too many ways to go about it. There is an example of people growing.
So Kwame, what would a ruthless person do?
Yeah, if I'm president of Ghana and we are growing rice, to stop the importation of rice, and all you can do is once we stop importing rice with all the millions, we will definitely have control of our dollar and how the inflation and all of it. If you are not able to arrest somebody who has deliberately destroyed the growing of rice, you can never succeed.
I think a nice guy, Mahama, can't do something like that.
Under John Mahama, he went to plant trees and they told him that the trees are missing. They are bent.
And he did nothing about it.
Yes. You see, being ruthless and merciless is not to everybody, but to bad people. You cannot be nice to bad people. You cannot be nice to people who are doing bad. You need a leader who knows the difference between people who are doing good and people who are doing bad, and will deal with those who are doing bad as this. You're supposed to. Look, in Ghana, the worst thing you can do to yourself and your family is to be good, because there's nobody who is speaking for people who are doing good. There's nobody who is speaking for people who are coming to work on time. Everybody comes to work at 10. They employ Nana Konadu, and she comes at 8, and everybody's angry on Akosua Konadu because you are exposing people. So we need a leader who is awarding people for doing good. If not, this country will never develop. With a president who wants to satisfy everybody.
And that's a ruthless person.
You cannot, you have to be ruthless. When Dr. Dampari became IGP, we saw what was going on. And the system slowed down, at least for a certain
and now
period.
It's gone back. Has it gone back?
Now, Dr. Dampari is sitting in his office. He has all the monitors. The only thing that police camera can see is those who are going to pass in front of behind police headquarters. You see that road that is behind the headquarters that joins cantonment. When you pass there, they will see it on their camera right now. But they do not see all the police people who have parked motorbikes under traffic lights. And when they see a V8 coming, they go close and ask if they need an escort. And they do that and take money. They do not see. They see the motorbikes on their camera. Anything that's happening in Accra, they see it. The cameras are there. They see it.
But they can't check their own people.
They can't check. That one they don't see. All they see is one guy who jumped red light. But they know that these police people are in business. They just move the motorbike out. They go out like an Uber driver who is going to work to make some sales. I don't know who they share it with that. And I believe that they share it with the big men, because if they don't...
Who are the big men?
They are superiors.
You mean the IGP? They share with the IGP?
No, I'm not talking about... Look, we are not always going to the top. All these guys who are riding motorbikes in town, they have those they report to. But I'm saying, who should take the blame? The IGP. He's the Inspector General of Police. He's my very good friend. But who should take the blame is him. Because anytime I go to police headquarters and I'm looking for a place to park, the police guys there will tell me, hey, Kwame, don't park your brother is watching us from his camera, so he sees everything.
So check yourself before you check others, is what you say.
Yes.
All right. You're still watching The Hard Truth. Do stay on. Welcome back to The Hard Truth. Kwame or Asare Obeng, is it Obeng Asare?
Asare Obeng.
Asare Obeng, aka Plus, is still here. Kwame, you believe that, we want to, or you went to the IMF, sorry, because of corruption, I would say. So in your view, has the current government lost the fight against corruption?
They never started it. They never started the fight against corruption.
We have a special prosecutor in place.
They had a special prosecutor who resigned because we thought it was a special prosecutor, rather it was a special position prosecutor, somebody that was brought to prosecute ex-officials. It was a low-hanging fruit prosecutor, so you didn't have to touch the big men. So they expected Martin Amidu to come after A+, but don't go after people who are close to the president or his family or people in his government. And when he was getting close to them, they felt he was too close for comfort. So they forced him to resign. In fact, he was forced to resign because he couldn't work with them. So the fight against corruption never started.
How do we start it? Let's fight corruption. How do we fight corruption?
I believe that we can, looking at what has transpired from Martin Amidu to the current special prosecutor, yes, Mr. Kisi Ejabin, I think that the only way to fight corruption now is with technology. I don't think any human being can do it.
How do we do that?
It's all over the place. If you are putting police by the roadside to stop cars and ask them for their roadworthy and whatever, and they are the ones going to write whatever for them to go to court, and they have that, and they don't have body cams that tells us what is happening, what happened on duty, they'll always take money and go home. In this day and age, people in advanced countries give police body cams, and so you don't need the police to tell you.
You see it.
You see it. Apart from that, I have been in Kolebu, and that's the only example that I know. When we were in Kolebu, the CEO decided that he was going to put a hospital management system in place, so that it was a software that was going to tell you what every machine in the hospital is doing. You didn't need the people with pens and papers telling you that today this guy, Mr. A, came and had a scan of the head or MRI of the bone or whatever. But the system itself will send you a report. So the system, the equipment that you have in the hospital audits itself. So at the close of every day, real time, you know exactly how much money you are making. And you're going to increase internal generated funds. And the people didn't like it.
I mean, we have systems. All they do is you're fired. But, and if they've stolen money, the money is gone. So again, how do we make them accountable?
I think that it won't be best for us to allow the cat to eat the fish and then we kill it. I think the best thing for this country is to prevent. To fight corruption is difficult, but I think that we should prevent corruption. We should make it a bit difficult for people to be corrupt. Everybody must make money. I believe that everybody must make money. People must live comfortably. However, people must not, we are corrupt, and people must not be allowed in places like God did with Adam and Eve. Put an apple there and say, don't eat it. We won't put the apple there. Even God put apple there. They ate it. And you are putting things where government officials can just, no. I believe that we started fighting corruption since God knows how long. There has never been a time where somebody has been jailed in this country for corruption. Everybody who has been jailed for causing financial loss. They don't jail people for corruption. So it means that the fight against corruption is neither here nor there. And so I believe in prevention. And I think that we can prevent these through technology.
I see. Now, moving on to the salaries and emoluments of leaders. Many are calling for the scrapping of ex gratia payment for political and non-political beneficiaries. Where do you stand on this?
I agree. I don't think that a teacher must work for 40 years and take home peanut, ex gratia thing that we talk about. When you go to the judiciary, it's worse. Yeah. And people don't want to talk about it. What they take in parliament is a joke as compared to what
Question.
yeah, it's a joke as compared to what the how do you call them, the judges and all take.
That makes it okay.
It's not okay. But what do we do? This system needs a huge overhauling. Let's attack this whole system. You cannot just get up and say, we are going to cancel it. The president does not have the power. It is in the law.
Okay, so let's start again. So the president approves payments or salaries of parliamentarians.
Yes.
The parliamentarians now approve that of the president.
Yes.
So are they doing scratch your back, I scratch
that
my
is
back
exactly
thing?
what is happening.
So because of that, no one will scrap it or no one will touch a scratch.
Don't go there. The law says that give this money to a judge. There's not much we can sit on this show and talk about to change. But if we can change the law itself, and that is why every movement that is out there should advocate for an amendment of the 1992 Constitution. In fact, in 2010, Professor Mills commissioned the National, the Constitution Review Commission to look into amending the 1992 Constitution. And they did a fantastic job. It is an 887 or so page document. I've read that document. They did very well because they're talking about all of these issues that they looked at everything. But that was Professor Mills. The commission did its work and presented its report to John Mahama. To John Mahama, because Professor Mills was late by the time the work was completed. And in fact, after they presented the report to John Mahama and his people sat down, looked at the report, and also issued a white paper disagreeing with many of the recommendations of the commission. A typical example was that the commission recommended that we have to amend Article 35.7 or 37.5, one of that. That says that as far as practicable, every government shall continue programs and projects of the previous government. And they said that if you add as far as practicable to shall, it becomes discretional. Who decides the practicability of a project? The person in power. So let's amend it. And at the same time, they were looking at giving a lot of power to the National Development Planning Commission so that they will enforce projects. They don't have to only be an advisory body to a new government. They have to ensure that every project, they have to sanction projects. Unfortunately, John Mahama's government said that the people voted for us and we cannot give projects to NDPC. We must decide what project we want for where. So when they leave power and another government comes to power, they also abandon it. But the Auditor General has said that we lose about $25 million every year to abandoned projects. And so the Constitution Review Commission was looking at taking projects and putting it in the hands of NDPC. So irrespective of who is in power, projects can continue. So you see, even the president deciding to amend the Constitution or review the Constitution was met by opposition by his own party when he was not in power. So it is not easy.
It will take a miracle to change that. I see. But Kwame, you are very controversial in many of the comments, and you've indicated that you see it as, or you say things without prejudice. But sometimes, don't you think you go overboard?
Yeah, in trying to, I've read the 33 Strategies of War, and there's a part that I love. It says that when people start complaining about moral issues, you have an advantage over them they don't want you to use. And so they want to misbehave and they want me to comment with a flower bouquet. Hello, please, you misbehave, take this flower. It doesn't work like that.
No, but can't you just say it without going overboard?
I want to be like Jesus Christ.
Which is what?
He said Pharisees, stupid Pharisees. He didn't say, and those days the Pharisees were old men. And Jesus Christ looked at them and said, you are very stupid people. When somebody is stupid, I don't know any word that you can use.
So if you just say stupid, so
It
if you're
depends
lying,
if
Kwame,
the
you're
person-
lying.
If the person is
And
stupid,
that's not going overboard to you. That's not going overboard.
if the person is stupid, they are stupid. I'm sorry.
Let me just ask, do you have plans of forming your own political party?
I will run for president of Ghana one day as an independent candidate. I don't want political party and all the structure that it comes with. Women organizer is not talking to a youth organizer. A men organizer is fighting with whatever, a
So what,
chairman.
independent candidate?
I want to run as an independent candidate
But
one
you need
day.
people to work with.
Yes, and all the people that I'll work with will be at the polling station level. That's where the votes are. We want
I mean,
a lot of people.
who?
A lot.
Like who?
A lot of people. You want me to name the people who vote for me in Tamale?
I don't know. I'm thinking. So if someone is ruthless, as you are, and merciless, and goes overboard and says anything he wants to say, because the Pharisees, using the Pharisee as an example, even Jesus whipped them and said stupid Pharisees. Do you think Ghanaians will vote for such a
I think that one of the biggest achievements of Akufo-Addo's government was the appointment of Martin Amidu. Ghana supported Akufo-Addo for choosing somebody who was seen as a ruthless person. And Akufo-Addo himself saw the cheers. You could tell that
he faded out. He resigned.
Yes,
he
because
resigned.
and another thing is that so many that Dr. Dampare has a lot of support, even though people see him as a ruthless person, as a very strong person. People like him, and you know that one of the ruthless leaders and merciless leaders we have had in this country is J.J. Rawlings, and he's one of the most popular and the famous people. The people know the right thing. They know who they want. They want the right people. They love Kennedy.
But the fact that you are ruthless and merciless and all doesn't make you right.
Being ruthless and merciless does not mean you're going about attacking people doing the right thing. We have to be ruthless and merciless when we're dealing with evil people, with people, enemies of the state.
Because of our time, we just
In
have
fact,
to... Right.
the Constitution states clearly that we should combat corruption. We should fight and we should protect state property.
So whatever you have to do to protect
the end justify the means.
I see. So what relationship do you have now with President Mahama or former President Mahama?
President Mahama has, not now, President Mahama has always been my friend.
I see.
Even when I was campaigning against him.
So now if John Mahama decides to contest the 2024 elections, should he maintain Prof. Nana Opokwajiman as his running mate?
I'm not the best person.
Why?
Come on, man. I think that he knows who is best for him as a running mate. He knows who he can work with. I personally like...
You speak your mind. So we saw a candidate, a person saying that I want this person to be my running mate. So again, you like to speak your mind. So in speaking your mind right now, do you think Professor Nana Opokwajiman will be the best running mate for John Mahama?
I love to speak my mind, but I didn't choose a husband for my kid's sister.
I'm listening.
That's who she wants to marry. I like Professor Nana Opokwajiman. I like her. I think she's a great woman. She has achieved a lot for herself and for...
Will she be a fine vice president?
If John Mahama can work with him, being a vice president and being able to work with the president is a whole issue on its own. John, if the vice president is not being able to work with the president, then she can't be a fine vice president. So as for me, I think that she's a nice person, a strong woman. You see, you must be nice, strong, merciless, ruthless, but leadership that we learn in school these days is not just smiling at people, being nice and acting like a pastor. No, you must be nice, but you must be strong. And I think she's a very nice and strong person.
So she can be a vice president?
I think she can. That is if she can work with John Mahama.
Finally, between Dr. Baumia, Kennedy Japan, and Alan Shamantin, who can give Mahama a tough time or a tough race?
Kennedy Japan.
Thank you so much. Thank you to the heart.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Right. Well, I've been speaking to Kwame Asare, Obeng, aka A+. I'm just thinking, have our leaders, failed us? And how do we, as citizens, ensure that we get the development we deserve? And how do we hold our leaders accountable for their failed promises? Share your comments on us on our social media platforms right now on your screen. You've been watching The Hard Truth. My name is Nana Akosua Konadu, Asante-Samuels. Catch a piece of the program on Saturday at 2 p.m. Kwame, again, thank you for being here today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Right. Have a good evening.